inside your eyes follows me like little flies underneath the trees on a warm summer's night. Won't you come with me to the poplar tree? Darling, come with me, and I'll make you see that you're the only one for me. Every breath that I take, every word that I say brings me pain until I see your face. Darling, don't you cry when I say I'll be by your side until the day that I die. Don't you cry when I say you're the only one for me.
Awesome. That was Liam Trewick with Only One. You're listening to the Total Teeth podcast demo broadcast. I'm joined today by the creator of that track, Liam Trewick. Thanks for joining us, Liam.
It's alright.
I did want to play These Walls, but I didn't think, like, with no offence intended at all, I didn't think a 7-minute track was the best way to start off a podcast. That, let's face it, most people have clicked on it assuming it's going to be bad.
Song.
Yeah, it is. It's a long one.
Yeah.
So, well, just take us to where it all began, I suppose. What made you want to learn an instrument, and what came first?
I'm not sure, but I've always wanted to sing.
Yeah.
I remember being very young and just singing, and I would always listen to Queen. Freddie Mercury was like my first influence
Oh, right,
as a
okay.
vocalist. Uh, yeah, and then in school I learned the trumpet.
Yeah, oh, yes, yeah. I remember that now, yeah.
Yeah.
When did you start learning guitar?
Uh, Probably I fiddled around a bit, like from the age of 13 or something,
Mm-hmm.
but never properly started learning until I was like 16.
Oh, yeah, well, 'cause I kind of remember being like a bit surprised, sort of like when I found out that you could play it, to be honest,
Yeah,
because I'd never heard about it before. Obviously, as I say, now that you've mentioned it, I remember you playing trumpet in school. Um,
yeah.
so were you expecting any like trumpet solos in Dreams of the Sun in the near future? Anything like
Uh,
that?
Possibly. I mean, anything is possible.
Yeah, but I really didn't know about Freddie Mercury. That's very cool.
Yeah.
What else have we got? From that, did you want to? So you said you always wanted to sing. Did you always want to like make music, kind of thing, or did
I
that
don't
come
know.
later?
I don't know. I think just one day I just decided I was gonna start writing songs,
Mm-hmm.
and then that's when me and Connor did that name stuff
Yes, yeah.
very briefly.
I'm gonna ask about that in a moment, because we will touch on all the other things you've done, or at least that I'm aware of that you've done, over like
Yeah.
today. But mostly we'll be talking about your solo stuff because, we can always have all the Dreams of the Sun guys back on at some point in the future
Yeah, that'll be
if you
good.
want to.
The other guys would probably like to speak.
Yeah, yeah. It's just today I just wanted to start things off small, so I thought I'd just have you on today.
Yeah.
So one thing I really want to ask is when we started in secondary school, I felt like the people in the music department, without naming any names, I felt like they weren't the most inspiring people you could learn from. I mean, one thing I can say, one thing I can absolutely have to concede is that, from the first music lesson I had, it made me want to get a keyboard that Christmas. I will absolutely say that that's where Tiger Driver sprouted off in the end. But other than that, I kind of just really wanted to get to year 9 so I didn't have to do it anymore. And that's come from someone who wants to be a musician now. So I guess what I'm asking is, how did you survive the music department?
I didn't. They hated me. I didn't do any of the work.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, I had to stay back and do extra like hours to do my compositions and stuff, and I just wouldn't. I would go on YouTube and listen to like Metallica or something and tab out the guitar parts.
That to be honest, that sounds like me and James when we do catering. Like we'd stay back and like I remember one time we spent like a good 20 minutes trying to spell out penis with the like the Microsoft applications on the bottom of the taskbar. So you didn't survive it. So did you have like more lessons outside of school or
What for?
just in
music.
general? Just everything, I suppose.
No, because at that point I'd started to teach myself guitar.
Uh-huh.
I was like just watching Connor play guitar all the time
Mm-hmm.
and just taking it all in. So I guess he was my first influence on guitar.
Oh.
He like made me want to actually pick it up, play it properly.
Yeah.
I didn't think I was a good enough singer to just sing at the time.
Right, yeah.
I felt like I had to play an instrument because I wasn't a good enough singer to just do the singing.
I think I was, and I'm now exactly the opposite. Like if I can get away with just singing, that is absolutely what I want to do because I don't feel confident enough with anything else to do something else at the same time.
Yeah. Now I'm all right with it,
Mm-hmm.
but I will play guitar if I need to play guitar
Mm-hmm.
because I'd rather add something to the song that needs it
Yeah.
rather than it be empty in a way.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So, what would you say your influences are now? Would you say you're the type to have a favorite artist?
Um, I think I have multiple, but they always change.
Yeah.
But there are like some that are constant uh, people who I will listen to daily,
Mm-hmm.
and ever since I've discovered them.
So, bit of an odd question, but I kind of it snuck its way into the list, and
Yeah.
sort of the general template of questions I'm going to ask people. And there's not really a great place to put it, but like, what's your favorite bit of gear? Now, this could be like anything, like a microphone adapter you've had for 15 years, or like a £5,000 kazoo or some bollocks like that. I don't know.
um, yeah, that's a good one. It'll probably be my acoustic guitar.
Mm-hmm.
My guild. It's like the first ever like guitar I ever bought with my own money.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's interesting because I'd probably say the opposite. I'd probably say the exact same thing, but the opposite way around. My acoustic guitar is probably my least favorite bit of kit because it was the first thing I bought, and it's a piece of shit. Um,
No, this one's pretty decent.
yeah. It's gonna be a
If I
lot
was
better
going
than
to be
mine.
buying a guitar, I was going to use be good.
Hmm. A funny story about me buying my acoustic guitar. It was a bit of a weird one. I think maybe I had a dream about it or something. I think it was back when we were in like year seven, maybe even year six. And I just said to myself, look, I'm going to town tomorrow. If
Yeah.
B&M happen to have a acoustic guitar for like £15, I'm just going to pick it up and see where it goes. And they genuinely did. I don't think I'd ever seen it like acoustic guitars in there before, but they genuinely did. Picked it up,
Yeah.
and well, it mostly sat in the loft there forever, really. But I love it in the same way I love everything I own, but it is a bit shit. Okay, so we're mostly talking about your solo stuff today. You've released a series of new tracks, including covers from Tim Buckley and Led Zeppelin. You've not released them as an EP or anything, though.
I am planning to do that.
Mhm.
It's just I just put them up
Yeah.
individually
Mhm.
because why not?
Yeah.
I'm contemplating putting them on Spotify, but I'm not sure yet.
Well, why not? I guess. I mean,
Yeah,
I feel
I'm trying to
this.
get some gigs in.
Yeah, this isn't like a question I've written down, but I feel like you have done quite a lot of solo tracks over the years that you've then taken down. Um,
Yeah, uh, I don't know. I take them down because I just feel like they don't represent me right now.
okay, yeah,
I'm trying to get like the best representation of myself
yeah, that makes
because
sense.
and then those ones will be the ones that stick. So I'm hoping these ones are gonna be all right.
Okay, yeah, I get that. Um, I know, I write a lot of tracks and then just think sort of like, even like a day later, I'm just like, no, I'm not feeling that at all. So, I can totally,
Yeah,
dig you just thinking I'm not that anymore. I mean, my influences for getting into music when I wanted to start certainly aren't the same as they are now.
mm.
Um, so they're, forgive me if I'm wrong, but they're mostly like acoustic tracks.
Yeah, yeah.
You've definitely got the skills to do like a full band type thing, though. Was that just like, did you think it fit the whole like sort of folk vibe better, or was it just
Yeah,
easier that
well,
way?
it's just it was easier. It's like because do the drums myself and do everything else and make the more sound like band, then if I go to play them, it doesn't sound anything like it. So
That's very
why not
true.
just
Yeah.
record the song as it's going to sound?
Yeah, that's very fair.
Because over time, my focus has shifted to like performing the songs rather than recording.
Yeah, yeah. I get you there. So, like, what do you think about the whole like Dave Grohl thing? Like, I think that's the example everybody thinks of when people come up with like people make their own music, like the full band kind of thing. Because that's it's just not something I can bring myself to do. Kind of find. I know Thomas does that.
I mean, if you can, yeah, if you can do it, you can do it. But even Tom would agree that it's more fun doing it as a collect thing
Mm-hmm.
because you're around like people you feel the most comfortable with, and
Oh,
then it
definitely.
brings out, it pushes you further, and you're just like bouncing off each other, and
Mm-hmm.
everyone's in feeling the same energy in them.
It's
You
nice
get
to
me?
get yeah. It's nice to get more than one head in it as well. Like more than one
Yeah,
set of ideas in.
that's the thing. I could think of bass lines and stuff, but
Mhm.
why not just get someone else to do that for me?
Yeah. I
If I'm
mean,
gonna do that.
if you can find the people is all I'm gonna say. Is all I'm gonna say on that one. So so you think so for you personally, you'd rather just make the tracks stripped back so that you can perform them yourself, and then add more people in later, rather than making the full band like by yourself kind of thing.
Yeah, because I'm not too fussed about the recordings. Um, not until people are available to me.
Mm-hmm. So, is the solo stuff just something to do for the time being, or have you got plans there? I know you've got like your first solo gig in 3 years, is it
Yeah,
coming up soon?
yeah,
Have
3
you got
years.
what are your goals for that?
I'm just trying to get paid gigs.
Mm-hmm.
Like pub gigs,
Mm.
maybe something like a living in music.
Yeah, that was the reason basically that I bought my bass, because I felt like everybody was looking for bassists like all the time, and then the
Yeah,
ads dried up and I saw nothing.
yeah. Well, that's the thing. That's why I'm decided to do this like acoustic,
Mm-hmm.
folky singer-songwriter thing. Because you can just do it yourself. You just go, you have your acoustic guitar,
Mm-hmm.
and then
Just get on with it.
play a bunch of songs. Yeah, 'cause I always go for the ones everyone loves.
So did you? So you're playing the solo stuff to give you something that you might be able to do more regularly, basically.
Yeah, nothing like. I'm not trying to make it go anywhere. I'm just trying to
Just trying to get
make
by.
a very small living
Mm-hmm.
from it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Um, Because I was going to ask if like when you used to do acoustic stuff, whether it was like a kind of life gets in the way and you didn't really have the time to do it anymore, or whether you just thought it was better to work with like Thomas instead.
Yeah, well, when we started working together like that, it kind of became secondary because it was quite uh, invigorating to
Mm-hmm.
work with him. Yeah, it was. Yeah, Flaccid Cactus is just entirely Tom,
Mm-hmm.
and all the songs are his, and the parts he writes himself, and I was just drumming. So, but because I was doing that, I was distracted from actually writing songs, so
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't for a while.
Well,
It
that
was like
makes
I do
sense.
the Matchstick Bonfire stuff, and then
Yeah.
started drumming for Tom, and then stopped doing pretty much anything other than that.
Yeah. So, what's the best track? Like one of the best solo tracks you've made?
Um, yeah, all the new ones, uh, and it's like yeah, all the new songs, pretty much.
Said this was most like proud you've been of
Oh
making your
yeah,
tracks as well. Yeah.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, these past few months have been when I've been writing the most and not feeling like the songs aren't good, if you know what I
Yeah.
mean.
Okay, that's really
Like
cool.
a bunch of Dreams of the Sun songs that we wrote together that are really good
Mhm.
and I really like playing.
Mhm.
And then these solo songs.
So the first thing I saw you doing, possibly the first thing you
Yeah.
did, was Neen, as you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Then that turned into Matchstick Bonfire, and
Yeah.
that was kind of like a whole different like energy. Because if you don't mind me saying, I loved the Neen tracks. I thought it was very very different to what you hear normally, but they were very
Yeah.
depressing.
They were rough. They weren't. They were like the first songs we had ever written,
Mhm.
and we were still getting used to it.
Yeah.
Like I had no idea what I was doing when I was recording
Mhm.
or writing them. I was just going with it.
They were very impressive. I would say, but yeah, like Matchstick Bonfire was just this sort of whole new like energy to it. Um,
Yeah. Well, when I first made the main songs, I listened to Tame Impala quite a bit because I'm pretty sure Currents came out that year,
yeah,
so that influenced it. That's where all the synths came from.
yeah, yeah. Because there was, there was a bit more synth to it than I was expecting. I must be honest.
Yeah, yeah. It was more synth than I was expecting.
Yeah,
Yeah, but then I started to get into like all the 60s and 70s rock,
yeah.
and things like Cream and old blues music.
I think the stuff that I was expecting you to come out with Neen is kind of like the stuff you're making now.
Yeah,
So it's kind of like because Neen's very like I don't want to say like sort of love based, but it kind of is like it's more
yeah, it is.
tracks
It
directed
was
to
more
people and stuff.
emotional.
Yeah,
Matchstick Bonfire was I was just ripping off bands and basically stealing their song structures and
yeah,
lyrical themes and just doing my version of it.
yeah. Okay.
So that's kind of why it ended because
Well, that answers that
I
question.
didn't like the unoriginality of it.
Yeah, it is. If it is very easy to sort of lose yourself in like accidentally ripping people off, and I think that's a very I think that's very honest of you to sort of say that and everything, and that also
Yeah,
answers my question
well,
of what happened to it.
even massive bands would say that.
Yeah,
There's interviews with the Doors, and
yeah,
they're playing through their songs and telling you about it, and like, oh, this is just the same chord progression as this song that we like,
yeah,
but we added this extra note, so it's not technically the same,
yeah.
but it's pretty much the same,
I think
but it's different enough to make it
there's
get away with it.
there's it's too easy to accidentally do similar sort of things because at the end of the day that is your influence. And I
Yeah.
think it's okay to do similar when you don't really intend it, but I mean, if you do just go in and like start
Yeah,
ripping
if
stuff
you go
off,
out, yeah, that was pretty much what it was.
yeah,
Match the vampire stuff.
well,
That's why I stopped it. I was like, I'm not writing songs that are representations of me. I'm
yeah,
writing songs that are representations of other people.
yeah. I won't ask what you think the best Matchstick Bonfire track was then.
Yeah.
So,
Something new though, me and Connor definitely like.
okay, I mean, well, since we mentioned this anyway, and I was gonna ask, like how it ended, you haven't really worked with Connor since. Is has it just not
No,
happened?
we still jam, and
Mm-hmm.
there was a band that it was kind of an amalgamation of me and Tom,
Mm-hmm.
like this just before we started Dreams of the Sun.
Yeah.
But I knew that I was be quitting Blasted Cactus as drummer,
Yeah.
but I hadn't had anything planned.
Mhm.
So it was like Alec and Connor from Chrome,
Mhm.
and then me and Tom, and it was this completely different band. And
Mhm.
we had this manager guy, and he wrote lyrics, and we would write the music.
Oh, right. Okay.
But that didn't go anywhere.
Mhm.
But we still see each other, and at the minute we are jamming a bit more. He's coming round, and we're recording songs, but
Mhm.
they're not originals. We're just having fun.
Well, yeah, that's all. That's all you need to do, really, isn't it? That's all you can sort of expect from stuff. So, I guess we can put a question mark under that. Maybe there's something to come out of that in the future.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
yeah, Connor came over mine. Probably not recently now. It's probably like one of those things where you feel like it happened last month, but it happened 3 years ago. Um, yeah, he came over mine. Sold me a guitar. You know, my dog bit him. All that sort of stuff.
I think you mentioned that. Yeah,
Yeah, I still feel really badly about it. Like, I mean, I feel like
Which guitar did he sell you?
it's like a black Ibanez.
Oh, that was mine. I sold him that.
Oh,
Oh no, we did a swap. He gave me a Squire Jazzmaster
wow.
with a dodgy bridge for that guitar.
Yeah, I think that one of the pickups is dodgy in it. I think.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about Dreams of the Sun for a minute. But as I say, we can always have you back on in the future. Um, so yeah, tell us about it. Lyrical themes, influences, etc.
Well, I remember when it became a thing, we were just walking together. It's probably like early summer,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, I want to make another band. He was like, yeah, that'd be cool. I was like, I really like the Doors and Black Angels, and he was like, I really like them too.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it started, and we tried to do our own thing
Mm-hmm.
and not really have anything planned and just go with it. Kind of like we were just like babies coming out
Yeah.
of the womb and experiencing life for the first time.
Well, I think quite often that's probably the better way to do it is to just say we're just going to do it and see what it is, rather than
Yeah,
planning meticulously what you want to make.
yeah. I wanted Dreams of the Sun to be something I could improve lyric
Yeah.
my the lyrics that I write and try and teach myself how to take a feeling and write it as a song or like as a story
Yeah.
rather than just being like straightforward and telling you exactly how you feel.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah.
It makes it more interesting.
I definitely agree with
It
you.
makes writing more fun as well.
Yeah.
But I don't really have one style of writing. It
Hmm.
just depends on what the song calls for.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Definitely.
if I hear Tom play something, sometimes it just clicks in my head,
Hmm.
and I'll hear the melody, and I'll have to go for a walk, and I'll come back, and I'll have a verse and a chorus or something.
Hmm. I think it's really cool when you can just hear something and you can just go straight off it, kind of
Yeah,
thing.
it didn't happen until I started playing with Tom,
Hmm.
like on those first Dreams of the Sun things, because he's like ridiculously prolific. He has ideas every 2 seconds.
Don't want to go on about it too much while I'm not actually talking to him, but I think he's an incredibly good musician,
Yeah,
and he's always making something. I tend to find. I think one thing that takes people by surprise when they see you live is how quiet you are as a person. Like I remember when I saw you at Whirling Dervish for the first time. It was just sort of a conversation in the toilets afterwards about like some guy was like, oh, I've worked with him in person. You wouldn't expect him to be like that loud, and I was like, well, I went to school with him for 5 years.
Well, I mean, in school, I was even quieter than I am now.
Yeah. Oh,
I've,
certainly. Yeah.
I've opened up over the years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Still like being reserved because I don't know. It's just natural.
Yeah, well, that's you. And I think that's one of the good things about music is that it really can just sort of get you out there, like who you really are, kind of thing.
Performing, it's like a type of adrenaline that
Yeah.
once you have it, you need it. You need more.
Yeah.
Like I've done really good gigs, and then I'll have like a come down. I'll be like depressed for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
After doing the gig.
I suppose it's the
Knowing that I
same.
won't be able to do it again.
Yeah.
For another month or something.
I suppose it's the same as when people have like like festival blues and stuff like that. Like it's the same thing except you played it.
Yeah.
You definitely in Dreams of the Sun you make like between you and Thomas you make a lot of noise. The band start seems pretty simple. You and Thomas are brothers. You helped him out with the Flaccid Cactus stuff before. You've now become a 4-piece.
Yeah.
Now I missed your first gig as a 4-piece. I think I was busy that evening. I hope I was, because I might have just been sat on my ass playing games. I mean, what kind of a friend am I? So was it a 2-piece for so long out of choice? Like you just wanted to see what you were doing first, or were you struggling to find the members?
We put ads out and stuff when we first started. Nothing kind of went anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were like, let's just keep doing it as a 2-piece.
Yeah, that makes sense, yeah.
And our influences changed a bit. We were getting bands like Grateful Dead and listening to loads of Pink Floyd and Led Zeppelin.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe we can incorporate these influences, our own style.
So what are the goals for Dreams of the Sun, really?
We want to get as many gigs this year.
Mm-hmm.
And just play a bunch of songs and try and just find our own selves as a band.
Yeah.
Define our roles in the band.
Yeah. I mean, now that you've got the full lineup.
Playing their own parts for the songs we've written.
Mm-hmm.
We're wanting to write more songs as
a
whole collaborative piece. What
would you say right now is the best Dreams of the Sun song? Now, I know the one that stuck out for me and Stephen when we sort of saw you for a second time, the one we both kind of recognised was Days Gone By, but I know Thomas wrote that, so I'll shut up about now.
Yeah, he wrote that one, but I said I liked it so much that I said we should play it Dreams of the Sun. It's like that sometimes. You write a song, I like it so much that I'm like, can we please do this in Dreams of the Sun? It was like that for sometimes as well. He was playing that and he had one verse, 2 verses and the chorus, and I wrote an extra 2 verses. It was like, you're singing in this song because I like it when you sing.
That's fair enough. So, just to finish off, we've got some kind of general questions. What's the best show you've been to, or the best band you've seen? Best, big show you've ever been to, or best, local show you've been to, or whatever?
Local, I like those all-day things that they do, because there's loads of good bands that play those. It's like, Solar, and Swears, and Be Quiet, Shout Loud.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you have the acoustic stages as well upstairs in the venues and stuff.
I think I missed the last all day they did.
Yeah.
I don't get out much, do I? What's the best gig you've played?
we played the Georgian Theatre, like, at the beginning of the month.
Mhm.
That was probably it. Like, that was the first proper stage that I played on with a band.
Mhm.
Like, the drums were mic'd up and the amps were mic'd up
Yeah.
and the floor was shaking bass and how loud it was, and it was lights and more than 10 people.
Yeah. That's always good. Yeah. So your best gig was, if that was the last one you did, then surely there's some exciting times ahead.
Yeah.
What would you say the
That's the
best
plan.
band you've played with is? Now, like a personal favorite, or technically the best, or whatever. The biggest, whatever.
Um, the Oilbirds was that on that gig. They were very, very good.
Mhm.
Their drummer is like incredible.
Yeah.
She does all these ridiculous fast tom beats
Yeah.
and stuff. It's like Meg White
Mhm.
in a way. Yeah, but they're good. And we opened Well and Dervish one time, and it was Salasola's first ever gig as a band. And I remember really liking it, which is a shame because I should go see other bands.
Yeah. Yeah. That's one thing I'm really bad at. Is well, when I saw Connor and bought his guitar and my dog bit him, we were talking about, oh, I need to get out of more gigs, and I have not been to one since, like, long before then. So who would you say, like, your favorite band or artist even? I need to get out the habit of saying band is in the area, and I suppose you can
That's
say yourself if you want to.
No, there are quite a lot.
Yeah, there's
Like,
a lot of really cool stuff
there
going
are
on at the moment.
more good like bands and artists in the area than bad.
Yeah.
But we've got a few friends in a band called the Dead Moon Lizard Kings.
Mhm.
I think that's it. Something like that.
Yeah.
They're like these doom stoner, sludgy, like rock slash metal,
Mhm.
and that's pretty cool.
It's not my buzzwords in that the description there. So, what would you say the Georgian Theatre is like your favorite venue you've played as well?
Yeah, either that or the Well and Dervishes is always fun to play.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like some of these last couple of questions have like it's been a bit redundant, like asking some of them. So, what's on the horizon? Have you got like gigs coming up?
Um, just that solo gig at the minute.
And where's that gig at again?
It's at the Oxbridge Hotel
Right. Okay.
back in 15th of March.
Do you have any stories to tell? Like, just, I don't know, just daft stuff you might want to mention while you're here.
I don't know. I recently shaved my head. I guess. That's interesting.
Yeah. Okay. I wasn't.
It's like a number two all around.
I wasn't.
I look like a junkie.
I was neither expecting you to say
Look like
that. No,
Brendan
that
from
delivery.
Trainspotting, if you've seen that.
Yeah. Wow, that really caught me off guard. All right, so so to wrap up, just take as long or as short as you want, just to plug your stuff.
I guess if you want to listen to some upbeat rock tunes or something a little bit more psychedelic and dawsy, listen to Dreams of the Sun. Or if you want to listen to some acoustic songs, listen to my stuff.
And if you want to listen to new versions of songs that already exist, check out Matchstick Bonfire.
Yeah, I guess. But I'd prefer people not to go. The kind of It's up to everyone.
Okay.
Just listen to anything.
So that's basically everything I've got to ask you for today. So, social links. We've got soundcloud.com/Liam_Trewick. Facebook pages at Liam Trewick Music and at Dreams of the Sun. So thank you so much for coming on the demo show. I know not everyone would want to come on the first broadcast. I've had a couple of people who kind of want to hear the show before they like commit to being on it. So being on the first show, I really appreciate that.
No, that's cool.
So thank you for joining us, and thank you for listening at home. If you enjoyed the show, please share it around, because if you want to hear more, then it's word of mouth that's going to make this work, really. Our Facebook page is at Tees Radio, and our SoundCloud is soundcloud.com/Total Tees Podcast. Although I would assume, depending on what platforms I actually put it on, you are probably listening to this on SoundCloud already. And if you're not, I am wondering how you're listening to this, unless I upload it to YouTube or something. So a bit of fun as well, since I've just done the social links. Funny story. I originally named this the podcast. The original working title was "We Have a Technical," which was like a reference to a Gary Newman song, like quite an obscure one. And I thought it was good because it kind of pointed out like the technical issues in the show, of which we've had a couple while we've been recording, of course. And someone messaged the Facebook page a couple of like a while back, like thanking us for having them on and everything. And I was like, I think you've got. And then that's when I discovered there was already a working podcast with the exact same name. I thought that was so bizarre. I was poking about in the messages of the page the other day and discovered they'd changed the name. So we changed it out for no reason. But yeah, whatever.
Maybe you can change it back.
Maybe. I mean, well, what do you guys think? What's better, Total Tees, which is sex joke, always funny, or We Have a Technical, barefaced taking the piss out of how shit the show is? Okay, so I think that's basically everything. So thanks again for joining us, Liam. Thank you for listening at home, guys. And this is, I think, These Walls, I think, is the second track I'm going to play. I did want to finish with Lullaby, but it wasn't downloadable, so we'll stick with These Walls.
I remember when I saw the earth shake on a cold winter's night, sat by the ancient lake. You built these walls around me. finding my way back to you. A stranger I once knew will rebuild again. We'll forget the rain. There's always a way. You can always find